I know, I go on and on about being fully prepared for your auditions and putting in the work and investing in your craft and really knowing what you're doing within your process to get the most out of the audition experience. And that the only real way to pop your head above the crowd to get noticed by your audition panel is through dedicated work. But I feel that we've talked about this kind of stuff a lot, wouldn't you agree? And that the sentiment has taken hold in quite a successful way. Now for a change of pace. I've been seeing a bit of a trend when it comes to my coaching clients coming into coaching calls with me, speaking to people, seeing how people are navigating the audition season, and actually asking myself the question and asking them the question, are you over preparing for these auditions? Because I see them doing precious little else with their spare time, but going over and over and over the speech, stressing about how the audition is going to go, whether they're going to be asked to do this or that, and what if this happens, and just constantly anxiety up here about the whole thing. And when this happens, my heart seriously goes out to them, because I remember when I auditioned and it just felt all encompassing. It felt like that was my entire world and this is everything that I wanted to do, and that so much was riding on it that if I didn't put in the work, then someone else will trump me in that regard, and I'm gonna have to wait a full year to re-audition. And sadly, it doesn't help that our education system and our society at large is very much glorifying and holding up on a pedestal this idea of hustle culture, that unless you are being productive, then you are just lazy. And some of that mentality has its place and has its value, but if it's taken to an extreme, then you are just running the risk of burning yourself out. And I say this especially in the months of January and February, because we're all like, new year, new me, try January, I love the gym, all my dreams will come true, I just need to apply myself and stop being lazy. What is even sleep? Like, you only need to do a quick scroll through YouTube to see all of these productivity hacks and monk mode and locking in and biohacking and dopamine detox fuckery. And I'm not saying that all of this is nonsense, it's not, but if we take it to such an extreme, then it becomes toxic. And this is even more crucial when it comes to audition season, because as actors we need to work from a place of ease and openness. So if you are working from this place of effort and anxiety and stress and forcing it, all you will be doing is shooting yourself in the foot. Oh, and if you are new here, I'm Louise, I'm an acting coach. I also sit on audition panels for drama schools, so a lot of what I have to say has some bearing on what you are going through right now. And today we are going to be talking about over-preparing and the telltale signs to show you that you are just doing a bit too much and you probably need to step away. And I want to look at why your obsession with perfection is the thing that's actually holding you back from having a really good audition. Knowing that in acting there is a very real tipping point when you are venturing for perfection and it tips over into rigidity. And we want to free you up, we want to take the pressure off and return you to the thing that you actually enjoy doing. Because you enjoy this, right? You like the acting. Yay fun! The repetition death spiral. First sign that you are over preparing is that you are going over your speech for hours and hours and hours every single day. You wake up, you do the speech, you're in the shower, you do the speech, you attempt to do the speech when you're brushing your teeth, it doesn't go very well. Toothpaste everywhere. You're waiting for the bus and you are muttering the lines under your breath. You never give yourself time to just not. And you might think that this is being diligent, but what you could be doing is etching the lines into your brain in a very specific way. You are deciding, often subconsciously, exactly how these lines are going to come out. You're deciding where the pauses go, what the intonation pattern is going to be. It becomes rigid, it becomes prescriptive, it becomes premeditated. And the whole thing with your speech is that it needs to seem organic and spontaneous. Also, you run the risk of just boring yourself. Because if you're going over these speeches for hours and hours, for weeks and weeks, by the time you get it in front of an audition panel, you are sick of it. The speech appears stuck, and the panel can see that you've checked out. Or as a panelist, we can just see that you're trying to recreate the first version that you did weeks and weeks, if not months ago, but you've lost all impulse to do it. So you're just kind of going through the motions. You end up just speaking at somebody instead of speaking to them. Acting is about discovery, and discovery in the moment as well as through your prep work. So if you have done all of that discovery and you've really just kind of etched in all of the choices that you were ever going to make, then you were holding yourself back from experimenting and getting curious when you actually take it in front of an audition panel. Rereading, rereading, rereading. Rereading the play until the pages literally fall out. Now don't get me wrong, you must read the play, like for the love of God, just read the play. But there is a limit to what reading the play is actually going to yield in terms of results. It could just end up being an empty task that doesn't actually move the needle. It just kind of makes you feel like you're doing something, but you're just making yourself busy. This actually goes hand in hand with doing extensive background work in character biographies and things like that. We've got to bear in mind that there is only so much that we can bring on stage with us at any one given time. So if you are writing overly detailed character biographies about where they grew up and whether they like broccoli or not, or what shoe they put on before the other, like it has no bearing on what you do with the speech. None. So as enjoyable as it is making a collage of everything that you think this character is energetically, it doesn't count, because the audition panel don't see that. And whether you do it or whether you don't do it, the result probably will be the same, because you're not doing the entire play. You're not playing the character from start to finish. You were doing one speech. It's a snapshot. And if anything, you shouldn't be doing anything that's transformative. You shouldn't be playing characters. You should be using the text and bringing it as close to you as you can possibly make it. So doing the extensive background work and researching the time and the this and the that and rereading the play again and again and again is just forcing you to intellectualize the whole experience. You're not writing a PhD on it. You don't have to cite your sources. You've got to focus in on the work that is actually going to yield you results. And that's less than you think. You've got to understand your text. You've got to know your objective. You've got to know the relationship. You've got to know what's at stake. And then you've just got to play. Anything else on top of that, in my opinion, is just dead weight. And if anything, will just muddy the waters. It will make everything vague, because complexity makes things vague. Better to champion the idea of simplicity, because simplicity is clear. So think about what is necessary. Just concentrate on that, because you'll find that it's less work overall, and it frees up time for you to go out into the world and be an actual human being outside of your drama school auditions. Woohoo. Interview scenarios. Now this is a big one. These are actors who play out different interview scenarios thinking, well, what if they ask me this? If they ask me what my favorite play is, I'm going to say X, and if they ask me why I want to train, I'm going to say Y. And it is good to have some answers prepared. But again, if you were just regurgitating them in the interview, you will come across as robotic. Worse still, if they fire a question at you that you hadn't prepared, internally you will panic, because it wasn't part of the script that you had in your head. The interview stage is not about you being perfect. It is not about you having ready-made answers and just kind of firing at them. This is not an interrogation. It's not a test. They want to get to know you. And just like you don't pre-prepare conversations with your friends, don't try and pre-prepare the conversation with the interview. Because all you're doing is trying to control a situation that you don't actually fundamentally have control over. And also, they're not going to be asking you questions that you don't know the answer to, because they're asking about you. And the only person that truly knows you is you. So relax knowing that you know the answers to these questions. Go in with an open and friendly energy and take the questions as they come. Because these people are people, so treat them like that. The self-tape marathon, shooting 40, 50, even 60 takes for their self-tapes. And I've talked about this a lot in the past. I feel like I've really made my point. Because I personally feel that shooting anything above 4 takes per speech is an absolute waste of time. That goes for professional actors applying for paid jobs as much as it is for drama school auditions. Because I'll tell you a secret, take number 42 probably has no difference whatsoever than take number 3. And by take 40, your eyes are blurry, your voice is sore, you're tired, you can't see the wood for the trees, you don't know what the difference is between take 22 and take 35, you're sick of it, you want to go home, and that will come across. Like the whole soul will just vacate the scene. And I'll tell you another secret that is not actually a secret. You are not getting paid for your self-tapes. I know that seems incredibly transactional. I know that seems like, oh, well, I should be dedicating myself to my craft and I do it because I love it, la la la. You are not getting paid for these. So why are you dedicating every hour under the sun to get them completed? And I do not mean doing the bare minimum, like half learning a speech, sticking it on screen, and then just kind of going, yeah, that'll do, send it. Yeah, we want a little bit more care and attention to it than that, but within reason. If you can't get it in 4 or 5 takes, you do not need more takes. You need to stop, You need to walk away and you need to recalibrate. And then you need to come back to it when you are fresh. Also, if you're finding that you simply cannot remember the dialogue when you get it in front of the screen, it has nothing to do with the camera and everything to do with how you have prepared this speech. Because if everything gets lost when you press the record button, then it's just not in your mind properly. So my suggestion is just put the camera away and go back to the material. Then when you're actually ready, 4 takes and you're done, thinking that there is a perfect audition. In the end, rehearsing your speeches to death, rereading scripts again and again, obsessing over the interview and spending days on self-taping is all fueled by one thing. That if I try hard enough, if I dedicate myself to this, if I forgo anything else like sleep, socializing, then I will get the perfect audition. I'm sorry to break it to you, but there is no such thing. It does not exist. It is a myth. There will always be things to improve upon. Always. There will always be things that you love about the tape that the panel don't, and vice versa. Searching out perfection is not going to get you anywhere, except down the road of disappointment. So what I want you to take away is that you just need to give you permission to let go a little bit. Like permission to stop. Do the work, know the lines, enjoy the process, absolutely. Don't put in the bare minimum, but don't dedicate your entire life to it. Because yes, audition season is temporary. You could probably do a really intense sprint of this. I don't want you to set the precedent that the only way to succeed and get anything perfect is by sacrificing yourself to it. Because that attitude for audition season will filter in to how you operate during drama school. And that is way longer. And it will also filter into your professional life as an actor. And that is even longer. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. So you need to pace yourself. Because by sprinting constantly, all you will be feeling is pain. And you need to remember that you enjoy doing this. And to continue to enjoy doing this, you also need to invest in other aspects of your life. Friends, family, hobbies, other work, those kinds of things that enrich you, as well as sleep and getting some sunlight. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you are still struggling with finding that balance of being prepared but not dedicating your entire life to it, then I highly recommend signing up to my online platform, act.co, because we have a lovely, friendly community of other actors going through the same process that you are. Because oftentimes we think, okay, well, I have to just dedicate all of my time to this because the competition is so fierce. Because we have no idea who these people are that we are competing against. So by signing up to this platform, you get to know other people, you get to communicate, you get to share, you get to support each other. And then you discover, wait, do you know what? This is something that I enjoy because there is community behind it. Along with that, we've got resources and tools and training videos and all of these things that you can work through at your own pace. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, then sign up below. All of the details are in the description box. And also, if you're interested in getting some one-to-one coaching so that you can really hone in on what is useful work and what is something that you just don't need to be doing right now, then all of the details for getting in touch with me personally to get coaching are below as well. Really hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one.